Well, welcome to another edition of Wine Time Yakima. And we're here again in the Yakima Visitor Center. A very big thank you to them for hosting us again today. And we're enjoying a very nice, we hope it's going to be very nice, a Silver Lake 2023 Rosa Riesling. And we're sharing it with Isarely Flores, who's our first musician that we've had on Wine Time Yakima. It's so nice to see you,
yes,
Isarely.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you for your time.
Well, it's lovely to meet you. Now, you've been playing, of course, here in Yakima. You were at the State Fair a couple of nights ago.
Yes, that was a pretty big event. The crowd is it's pretty massive, you know, and it's very nice to be able to, have that space in your community with people that you have known and seen, supporting. The craft. So I'm very thankful for the State Fair and for allowing me to, share my voice with everybody.
It was lovely. And now, are you doing just the one gig, or are you doing any more while the fair is running?
No, I did two that night. I don't think I could have done any more. It was very nice.
I was sad because I missed you, because I came on the Saturday and you'd already performed on the Friday, and I was saying, is she going to play again? And they said, nope, you've missed it. Well, cheers. Lovely to meet you, Isarely.
Thank you.
Do you like a Riesling? You like a sweet white wine, I think?
Yes, sweet wine.
Oh, that's very nice. Gosh.
That is delicious.
That's Silver Lake, a Silver Lake Riesling. Actually, a Riesling, I think, is a German wine, I think. Anyway.
Very good.
So, Isarely, music, of course, is your passion, and that's why you're here. But you grew up, you were actually born in Mexico, although you spent most of your adult life here. But how did you make the transition from Mexico to Yakima? That's quite a distance.
Yes. Well, my parents, they worked really hard to just give us a better life, and I grew up here in Yakima, in the Yakima Valley. Went to school on Tieton, so I've known this community. This community has supported me. I remember being 13 years old, playing in my first band, and people that still follow me today were there when I was a child, looking at me and, cheering me on. And now I get to perform on a bigger stage, and they're there. So it's lovely. It's such a good feeling.
And has music always been your passion? I mean, right from the time you were a little girl, did you know that's what you wanted to do?
I did around 13 years old. I realized that I could sing, and my mother took me to the church choir, and that's where I realized that I felt very passionate, about music, and it did become a focus. And I'm very thankful that early on in my life I was able to determine that, what I wanted for myself and where I wanted to see myself, because not every child gets to do that. Some people still have to figure things out, but singing is my passion. I think it's my purpose.
And did you come from a musical family? Were your parents singers? Were any of your siblings singers, aunts or uncles?
Yeah, I get that all the time. I wasn't. I didn't have, the, uncle that was always, playing at, a party or something. But no, I didn't. And it just kind of, I think it was more of like the community support that I felt. I was going out singing when I was young. I wasn't thinking about were they gonna like it, were they gonna boo me? I wasn't thinking about that, because all of the support that I received as a child was positive. I was always hearing like, you can do this, like, oh, now you're gonna go do this, and never did it cross my mind that something good wouldn't come out of it, but. It's been very nice.
Well, it's great to have that encouragement. I mean, did you study singing? Did you study music when you were at school, or was it just something that really just evolved as a natural talent?
It is a natural talent. I did take classes later on, just to perfect, to really learn how to, hone in on like I'm such a perfectionist, and so I had to be like, I'm gonna do this just for me, and it's been something that I've known how to do since I was little. So yeah. Yeah, it's sort of a natural thing.
And where's your inspiration come for songwriting? I mean, performing and, you know, choosing the songs that you're going to perform as part of your set. Where do you get your inspiration from?
You know, I think that for me personally, it is those, you know, things that life bring you. You know, it's those challenges and those setbacks that really get me thinking. And I'm very passionate about a lot of things, and I'm very thankful that you know, I was able to have, you know, a good education. I also, you know, majored in English, and so you know, every piece has come together, and I just feel like there's nothing that can really stop me right now.
Now, you started out actually leading a band. You had your first band, I think, as a teenager, and then you were doing charitable gigs, etc. How did you get into recording? How did you make that leap from, you know, live music into recording? So you've got you've just submitted an album for the Latin Grammys, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a journey, but it wasn't until after 2020 that I realized that, you know, something was missing. I just felt like I really needed to get back to who I was, and then it needed to follow my purpose in life, and that's something that's always made sense to me. Music and singing has always made sense to me, and so I was I just determined myself to, you know, get every opportunity that I could, bother everyone that I could, you know, and slowly just things started coming, you know, into play, and I started realizing that there are so many people that I used to know when I was little that were now full-on like musicians and sound engineers and photographers, and so I was like, wow, I really was able to get a good team going, and 2 years ago, we signed with a record label who distributes my music internationally, and so I have their support. And through that support, I was able to really, you know, complete the puzzle that is, you know, submitting your music for consideration to the Latin Grammys. And so I'm also a Latin Academy member, a voting member, and so I'm all those things are, you know, just goals, and I'm just very thankful that that I've come to know the people that have those pieces that I need.
Now, I imagine it's very, very difficult. I actually, years and years and years ago, worked in the record industry, and I know how competitive it is. I know how difficult it is. So for you to have got signed at such a young age, I mean, that's quite an achievement. You must be extremely proud and grateful.
I am.
Yeah.
I am. You know, there's two parts to me. I'm a very normal person. You know, I go to practice and then I come home and wash the dishes, and you know, and so I just feel very normal, very, you know, grounded. But there's also a part of me that, you know, gets on stage and is just a completely different person, and it's something that's, you know, it can be stressful, you know, just like anything else, to have so many, you know, parts that, you know, people manage in one day, you know, being a mom, being an educator, being a performer. I am an executive producer to my music. I mean, I'm thankfully I'm able to choose my music, and I'm able to determine, you know, what I want to do, where do I want to record, who I want to work with. So I'm thankful that I'm still able to do that, because a lot of times under a record label there's so many restrictions, and so I still have a lot of freedom.
That's great. How was the wine? Are you enjoying it?
It is
it's
delicious.
lovely, actually.
It's delicious.
Now, you chose this, and I'm glad you did. It's very nice. Nice indeed. Now, you have children. How do they feel about having mum up on the stage and, you know, singing away, or do they see you as two different people? There's mum in the kitchen and there's mum on the stage.
Yeah, no, it's the kids are like, oh, you know, I'm gonna go do an interview, Mom. Oh, that's great, Mom. Do you know where like the ketchup is? You know, it's like You know, it's kind of like that because, you know, you're going to be special to somebody for, you know, because you're my mom. And then they're going to be special to somebody else because, you know, you're, you know, that singer that, you know, has these songs and these lyrics that you just love. And so I've learned to accept that. I've learned to understand that, you know, different people in my life are going to love me in different ways. And but you know, my parents have always been supportive 100%, and they're still there. They're still like my biggest cheerleaders.
Well, it's great that they gave you their encouragement. I mean, I think some parents would be very wary if their daughter or their son or whatever said, I want to be an actor, I want to be a singer, I want to be on the stage, etc. That's a difficult life to pursue, but they encouraged you every way. If your kids said the same, would you help them believe in them?
I would. I know how hard it is, but I know a little bit. So, no, that is, you know, it's definitely understandable. You know, you want the best for your children, and you want them to succeed, and you want to give them the best advice. And sometimes, you know, there's things that don't make sense, but, you know, dreams, passions.
Now, you've made your dreams come true. I mean, that must be something that's very rewarding for you.
I feel like there is so much more. I feel like I have not done anything, although I've done a lot. You know, some people do give me all these words of, you know, like praise and I just sometimes I just don't know how to I don't know how to process that because I feel so normal. I just feel like I haven't done anything, although some things are just, you know, performing at the fair, you know, being this or, you know, having that kind of a platform. And it's, you know, it's step by step. I still haven't done anything. I just feel like there's so much more to gain.
But what would you like to do next? I mean, you've got a new album. You've got, you know, you're working with some very high-profile writers and producers: Joan Velez, Demetrio Vite, Geronimo Sada. I mean, some very, very big names in the Latin music industry. What would you like to do next?
I would really like to create new music. At some point, I'd like to create a country album, something in between country and a little Tejano. So someday. But yeah, I mean, from here on forward, I really want to be able to work with more people, and just create music. Just continue to create music, because at some point, you know, what I would love is just to leave that. You know, I just want to be able to leave that for my family and for the generations that will come of, you know, what I did and what I left them.
Now, you played at the county fair, the state fair recently. What other gigs have you got coming up where people can see you? Yeah,
you know, I am so thankful. Like, I just had some friends say, hey, where can I see you next? Or, I didn't know you were a singer. How is it? How do I not know that? But I really tried to keep the two separate. You know, when I'm at work, I'm at work. When I'm, you know, performing, then I'm, you know, the performer. And so, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different plans. I love county fairs and carnivals. I love all that. So, yeah, expect that soon.
Okay. Now, you are actually an educator when you're not singing. How do the kids in the classroom react? Are they thinking, oh, that's the singer, or that's our teacher? You know?
Yeah, I really, like I said, I really try, but I worked at an elementary recently, and slowly things started making sense to the kids. Oh, why is Miss So-and-so wearing your shirt on why is your face on her shirt? Or, you know, and so they get very excited. You know, the kiddos get very excited, and then they're like, Miss, did you know that Miss B is famous? You know, those kind of things are just so adorable. And I'm not famous, but it's really nice, but I really try to, you know, to separate the two. And do you like having that division? Do you think at some point you'll just say, no, I want to focus entirely on music, that's all I want to do? Or do you think you'll always sort of try and have different things in your life? No, I think that for someone who is very, just very passionate about music, who has talent, who's really trying to get things done. I think that the overall goal would be to just be a musician, just focus on music. And I would love that someday. I would love that, but I feel like I still need to be grounded right now. I still need to be local.
Okay. So in terms of new recordings, what's the next music you're going to be taking on? You've got new plans, new songs, new writers that you're working with?
Yes, and I'm very thankful that, and I don't know how it happens, songwriters find me. They find me, and I've gotten so many requests to listen to music, different songwriters from, the U.S., Mexico, from Spain, and I don't. And some songs are so good, and sometimes it's not just that, when I hear a song, sometimes I can imagine what else would go well with it, and sometimes it's just changing like the melody, or changing like, okay, we're gonna just do a ballad on this one and kind of change it up. So I think I have a good ear to a creative ear, just to determine like what is gonna work, what's gonna sound good. And so I have some new songs that we're always preparing new songs, and I'm very thankful to be able to work with the people who put like those, all of those instruments, those sounds together, and there's a lot of music coming soon.
Okay. And do you write much of your own music, or do you prefer to work with other writers, composers, or do you like to really just go with your own music, or is it a combination of the two?
No, when for something like it, just sometimes it's just a project. Like this was a 9-song album, and it needed to be a big collection, and so I was happy to bring all of these different songwriters together, and I love the combination. I love to be able to put my work into a bigger collection, but sometimes you just get these songs that are just like, wow, like I have to use this. Yeah, and
it must be very nice to have a song that somebody's written specifically for you, knowing your voice, knowing your talent, and knowing how you can interpret it.
Yeah. Yes, it's a very nice feeling.
Okay, so what's the new album called?
The new album is called Tres Días, 3 days, and it's a 9-song album, and you can find it on all platforms, on all music streams, and on social media.
And now all the songs in Spanish, or do you sing in English and Spanish?
I have one song that's out that's English. I worked with a local artist, and I want to make more English music, and so I think that's definitely in the works. And I love to be able to also work with local talent, and there is so much talent out there. Like, and I'm very thankful that I'm able to like get those opportunities and be able to work with people, especially as a woman, because a lot of times it's harder for a woman to get into into a team of men that are just doing their own thing, and it's not very common for women to get to sing with with talented men. And so it's been, I think I have a long way to go also on that. I mean, but I have been recognized a lot here in the Valley, so I'm very thankful.
Why should it be harder for women? I mean, so many wonderful women have made such a success in music over the years. I mean, I think perhaps more so than men. So why is it still so hard for women, do you think, to make that breakthrough?
I think for me, I mean, I can speak for myself as far as like my experience in the music industry. The music industry is still a man's world. And it just really, especially, when someone's starting off, it is hard to be able to, have the blessing of somebody to be like, okay, like, let's, work on this song together. And so I mean, I've seen it. I think that we've come a long way, and all we can do is try.
That's right. Now, what's your next live gig?
I don't have anything planned here in the Valley.
Okay.
So we're looking at some performances in Chicago.
Oh,
and my music's being like, I'm looking at the numbers, and there's a fan base in Chicago. I don't know how that happened, but
well, they've obviously got good taste. Any international plans, do you think?
No, not just yet, but it will come.
You think so?
Yes.
I mean, because obviously the Latin music industry across the world is so huge, and there's so much excitement for all these different artists who sing in Spanish and Portuguese even as well. So there's a great opportunity.
Yeah. So in November, we'll be able to attend the annual Land Grammy ceremony, and that'll.
When will
be
you know
really
if you're
nice.
on the nomination list? When will you know that?
Oh no, the nomination list was announced.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just recently, and so it was just, it's just an exciting experience to be able to like submit your music,
sure.
be able to like be in that in that loop, and be able to participate and say, hey, you know what, my music is on this album that you can vote for, and so it's a win. It's a complete win.
Very rewarding. Well, Isarely, you've agreed to sing a little bit of a song for us when we go out today. But before we go, we always end with a few just light-hearted questions, some either-ors. So I'll go with this. Now, this one you might struggle on this one. Rap or rock?
Oh, rock.
Yeah, I don't understand rap.
Yeah, it's more of the beat. Yeah.
I think I'd go with rock as well. Shakira or Selena?
Oh, it's a hard one. But I think Selena, that's a very hard one because they're so very unique and they're so very different too. But growing up, I feel like Selena was more of a, she was just someone that I looked up to.
Were they both influences for you, do you think, perhaps?
Not Shakira so much, but wow, she's such a powerhouse.
Yeah, incredible. Okay. Now, what would you say, who is your favorite artist of all time? Would it be Selena or somebody else?
There are so many artists. I think that as time has, passed since I was smaller, I've listened to so much music, and so many different artists have inspired me. But there is an artist, Mexican, regional Mexicano singer, Julian Alvarez, and he's amazing. His ideas and his vocal range and his power, and he's just amazing.
Okay, so that'll be your favorite.
Yes.
Okay. Now, having success or happiness?
One or the other?
Yeah, in this case you can't have both, I guess. Maybe you can.
Wow. Yeah, I don't know, because I don't think you can have happiness without success.
Maybe that's true.
Yes, that's a hard one.
Okay. And finally, being rich and famous or rich and unknown?
Rich and unknown. Really, honestly, rich and unknown. I don't know.
I think I'd just rather be rich.
Yeah, I am, believe it or not, I'm more of a private person. I really like my quiet time, and I really like, a lot of people like the noise, and they want to be in the, in the know and in the crowd, but I'm really more of a quiet person. And when I first decided that I was going to make music my goal, it was a little hard for me to get back in there, and but now it's a normal thing. But I'm more of a private person, so maybe unknown.
Rich and unknown. That's a good combination.
Yeah.
Well, Isarely, this has been an absolute delight. It's lovely to meet you. Cheers.
Thank
you for
you.
joining us for a glass of wine. And thank you for sharing our story with us, your story with us. So we're going to go out with a little bit of a song. I want to say a very big thank you to everybody at the Yakima Visitor Center for hosting us again. A big thank you to Isarely Flores and to our producer, Maddie Madden. Thank you to Silver Lake for the lovely wine. It was a lovely Riesling. You can join us every Saturday night at 7 p.m. for another Yakima Wine Time, or Wine Time Yakima. Isarely, what are you going to sing for us?
I do have a very beautiful ballad in banda, Recuento de los Daños. It's a beautiful song. The songwriter, I think that was like a personal narrative, and it says, en el recuento de los años estar juntos fue lo mejor. Cada aventura, cada luna, cada sueño era de los dos. Y al final las cosas se dieron así. Y es que en verdad contigo ha sido mi mejor versión.
Isarely, that was an absolute delight.
Thank you
so much.
No,
Lovely to meet
so
you.
Much.
Lovely to see you.
Thank
and thank you for singing.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us.